Okay, to get started, there are a few tools that you might want to consider having before going ahead with this. Uh, a flathead screwdriver with a wide head is a good idea. You will be needing a standard Phillips head screwdriver, a flash drive, at least 4 gigs to install Windows on, and one of these toolkits you can get these from like iFixit. I have just a cheap one that I found on Amazon. Because I don't use these too often. I usually use the larger screwdrivers. But something with like a spudger. Spudgers are really awesome. This is not a good one. Something like a guitar pick would actually serve you better. But you really don't need these bits for this project, but I like to keep it aside anyway because they are very useful. So let's just get started. Everything that you need to do is on the back. I'll just go ahead and overlay a screen where all of the screw locations are pointed out. And now we can go ahead and proceed with actually taking out the screws. Okay, so I want to take some time to talk about this screw right here. This screw holds like this spacer in for an optical drive. So what you're going to want to do is actually just take this out. And all of these screws in the bottom are the same, by the way, so you don't have to worry about separating them. So we can take that out, and then once this is out, you should be able to just get your fingernail under there and just pull out like that. And then this is the spacer. It should just come right out. So we'll set that aside for now. And then we actually have 3 more little screws that need to be taken out before we can actually proceed in taking off the back. And these are really easily identifiable between the regular screws and these. And this will be all the screws that we have to actually take out for this. Alright, now for those of you who are taking this apart for the very first time, it will be a little bit more difficult than you will see me have doing this, because I've taken this apart multiple times for various reasons. So it doesn't really matter where you start as long as it's on this side. This side has more I/O, so you can't just pull straight up. You have to kind of push over a little bit and then come up with it. So I may not even really need to use the spudger. Yeah, there we go. I've already gotten it started. This corner over here by the hinge is fairly strong. Oh, there we go. Here, and this part right here can be a little delicate because it's just kind of thin plastic, so you really don't want to pull up on that if you don't have to. The back side in particular is a little bit more difficult than everything else, so just keep that in mind. Ooh. Alright, and then once you've got most of it off, the rest of it comes fairly easily. Now, be careful because there is a wire going from the speakers which are attached to the back to the motherboard, which you'll find here. And I'll get a better shot of that for you in post. And you're just going to want to push away from you, and then that should just disconnect fairly easily, and then the back is free. And then we can set that aside. Alright, now we get to see the good stuff. So I already have an SSD in here, but I'll go ahead and take it out. And it's completely toolless. There are no screws or anything holding this in. It's just friction fitted. So now, when you first open this, if you're putting an SSD in, there will be something else already here. There will be a mechanical hard drive. It'll be the same size and everything as the SSD, although it will be heavier. And you're just going to want to, just like I did with the SSD, you're just going to want to push out this direction, push out, and then the hard drive will be in this film, and you're just going to want to kind of do that with it, and it'll come out. Okay, see this side right here, this side with the clips that kind of extend out need to face inwards towards the bulk of the laptop. And you're also going to want to put the SSD upside down with the pins like that. And you can actually see that there are little, oops, out of focus. You can see that there are little notches in the SSD that you can just kind of push into. Alright, so what I said about the clips, they need to be in front, but the plastic needs to be on top. And they're just going to want to take the SSD and then have it upside down with the pins facing up towards you. And just put, the SSD will have little screw holes that you can just push the grommet in, like that. And then just place it down. You got to apply a little bit of pressure to get it down in the grooves, and then just push in towards the motherboard, and it should slide in nice and easy, just like that. Also, I didn't do it here, but I would advise you unplug the battery. You just need to push out on that, and it'll be unplugged. So that's basically it. You've got your SSD in there as far as hardware goes. Now you're just going to take the back cover, and again, remember to plug in your speakers. So just get the cable and push it in. Here we go. And then, just like we took it off, we're going to do it in reverse. So instead of lifting it and then up like that, we're going to do the opposite and push down here in that direction, and make sure that your I/O fits back like it should. And then you should be able to just go around the laptop. Whoops, I didn't quite get it in all the way.
"12 seconds later."
Okay, so once you have the I/O in, then you can kind of make your way around the laptop. I recommend going around the back and just snapping everything in. Alright, back to the front. And really make sure that everything is snapped in. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and put in the little short fat screws back in before we forget them. Whoops. These can be a little bit annoying to get in because they're so small and difficult to handle. Alright, those are in. Grab the spacer that we set aside earlier. Make sure that you orient it the right way. Just slide it in and put in the screw for it. Alright, so that was the last screw. I ended with no screws, and all screw slots have been filled. So that's good. Another successful teardown. All right, now we can just follow me to my computer where I'll show you how to download the media creation tool, and we can go ahead and install Windows. What you want to do is go ahead and open up your internet browser of choice and Google Windows Media Creation Tool. Top result, Windows 10. I imagine you'll be using Windows 10. Download tool now. And then wait for it to download. Okay, when you are prompted with this screen, go ahead and click Create Installation Media for another PC. Click Next. Select your language, or that might be checked. Select your language, the edition, and well, for this specific laptop, you're going to want 64-bit Windows 10, not this one, Windows 10 without the N, and of course, select your language. Click Next. I recommend using a flash drive, but if you have a DVD, go ahead and then click that and follow through the prompts. Next. It should appear here. If it's not there, make sure it's plugged in. Next. And now we wait. Now I've already have done all this on the laptop. It's already completely set up. And you can go ahead and watch my other video on the actual installation of the SSD, which isn't so much of a tutorial as it is just unboxing the SSD and just putting it in and going. So I'll go ahead and link that video here so you can go over there and watch that. And I will have a little timestamp in the description that you can click on, and it'll just skip you on over to the part where I actually finish the installation of Windows. So I'll meet you guys over there.